All right, next up in a series about the RavenCrest tactical knives, we're going to talk about the Ronin. Every RavenCrest tactical knife that I've worked with so far has had the same box setup, same bag, so let's move on from there. I'm talking today about the Ronin. Now, this one has quickly become one of my favorites. I'll talk at the end a little bit about things that I would love to see in it. It has a very sleek CNC aluminum handle, actually with carbon fiber inlays. When you look at the site, you'll notice they've got a bunch of different colors, you know, blues and greens and different stuff that you can get with the carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is black, but you can change the aluminum colors, anodized differently. It does have a standard pocket clip that is reversible. This one is raised up a little bit where the other one's, it's a little bit notched in, so it doesn't twist. So you can swap that around and have that in both cases. So you want to go right hand, left hand. And sometimes that's also a switch of which pocket you carry it in. Really like the form factor. It's a very sleek. When it fires open, it's an overall 8-inch length, and it's got a 3.5-inch blade. In this case, this model, near as I can tell, only comes available in the Tonto, which I don't mind because I think that's a great blade style. One thing that I wish, like the rest of the ones that I've looked at so far, the blade itself is going to be in a 440C stainless steel. The only one that I've seen in a different one is that Enigma Karambit, which came in a D2. The rest have all been in that 440C. We do have jimping on the sides of the handles and jimping on the blade itself. Pull that. Very thin, very light, really sleek. Really quickly, this has become one that I could carry every day. Its size and shape is not aggressive, so if you're operating in a civilian environment outside of the actual, every time you open it, it's going to be fairly unnoticeable. And then, in fact, once it's open, you know, like anything else, I tend to pinch and keep these so that way I can kind of keep the blade length managed, but you can kind of come back and you got some decent length to it. If I write on the mic so you can hear that. Really great sound. All in all, super great profile. Does have a glass breaker on the back side so that you're ready for that action there. In general, this has been one of my favorites of the ones that I've looked at, but you definitely have to look at the whole line because there's quite a few different ones and what your needs are may be different. If I had my druthers, so to speak, I don't mind the carbon fiber inlays. They're slick. I mean, they're going to be super sexy, kind of this gentleman's carry kind of thing, but they're slick. Now, I don't mean slick as in like they're fancy. I mean like it's a slick surface. So if you're using this, you may or may not want that. The aluminum's got a kind of a brushed feeling to it and feels pretty good. And you do have this jimping, but the sides are going to be really slick. So it's just something to pay attention to. But if I had my druthers, just like the Raven and the Bravo, there's a training blade. I really wish, because this is something I would consider carrying a lot. I could really consider having a training blade so I could get this on the mat and practice with it. This particular one, I'm about to lose one of the screws. So I noticed this with another one of the models, and you'll see that in one of the other videos. I'll link the other series down below, that this one and the Mini Zanchi had loose screws. Not a big deal. I would like to see tighter controls so that these aren't coming out with the screws already loose, because somebody who's not paying attention might just lose one and now they're just missing screws and they're having to ship it off or wait or whatever. But in the end, if you actually check out your stuff and pay attention to it, a quick twist with the screwdriver and that problem is solved. If you did happen to lose it, they've got a lifetime, no questions asked warranty to manage this stuff for you. All in all, I really like this knife. It's got a very cool look. I really like how unnoticeable it is in the pocket. When I slip it in the pocket, I just forget that it's there until I need it. And then when I need it, it's right there. Some of the other ones are much larger, and if your day-to-day job requires that, don't buy this one. But if you want to be able to carry a knife all the time, kind of go more of an EDC in the RavenCrest line, I think this is the one. This one is going to handle everyday tasks. That Tonto is going to be perfect for doing any number of things. It's got a bit of a belly, which is great for a lot of the slicing that you may do of different things. I mean, use your knife. Use it. This isn't meant to just sit on a shelf. That's why they put that whole warranty together specifically so that it wouldn't just sit on the shelf. So EDC all day long, kind of almost no reason not to carry this knife. Of course, managing that it's legal in your area to do so. Out the fronts are considered automatic, and so legality wise there are places that aren't going to let you carry it. But if you're a place that you can, and I am in a place that you can, this is a great option. It's going to be easy to get to with either hand. You're going to be able to operate it very quickly. Outside of that loud snap, it is a double action, so being able to get it back in doesn't take some kind of single action thing where you got to recharge the blade or something like that. Fire it out, fire it back. Very simple, easy to use. This one's just probably my favorite all around. This is number 2. These are my two favorites. And probably just because size, civilians carrying really large knives, it just stands out, it draws attention to you. Even if you have a good reason to carry a large knife, even if you live in a place that doesn't have problems with you carrying large knives, it still draws attention, people pay attention. I kind of want people to forget that I have these tools, because if I need to use them to defend myself, I don't want you to be already have been paying attention to what kind of tools I have. So instead, I just want to disappear and be able to use it. And there goes the screw. Okay, so that's what you got to worry about. I'll just grab my screwdriver and fix that. But there's obviously energy when this knife comes out. It can work these loose over time. Pay attention to that, because I've got a loose one on this side too. So, and it's actually both of these small ones. I don't know if there's anything particular about that, but both of these small ones are the ones that have the loose screws to them. So tighten them down, check them from time to time, and that's any knife. I mean, just check your pivot screws, things like that. In fact, if you're carrying a folding knife, your pivot screw can work itself loose just from regular day-to-day use. So any of your knives, I mean, check their edge, maintain them, keep them clean, check the screws, stuff like that. Pay attention to your tools. If you want to be able to rely on your tool, you've got to pay attention to it. You've got to give it a little TLC, some maintenance from time to time. Wouldn't have liked to seen that off, straight off the line, but things happen. And you know what? I think we can get pretty silly about stuff sometimes, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so there you have it. There is my feelings on the Ronin. Still my favorite, even though the screw fell out. I still really like this knife. So anyway, go check this out. You got the Zanchi, you got a number of others. Go check out what they're doing. I definitely think they've got quite a few options. And this is just in their OTF line. They don't just make OTF knives, so go check that out. If you carry one of these, tell me about it. I want to hear what made you choose it, what you like about it. If you don't carry one of these but thought about it, I want to hear that too. What made you do something different? If you want to see another one of these videos on something else, tell me about it and we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, that's it for now. Thanks.